Hello duelists, it's Tom Box here from MST.TV bringing you guys another card discussion. This time it's a card that is from Anniversary Pack 20. Alright, now this card is the new board wipe / quick play spell. This is going to be Clashing Souls. First off, take a look at the artwork. The artwork's pretty cool. We got a Junk Warrior basically trying to punch into a Red Dragon Archery. So we got some Yusei Jack Atlas action going on, trading blows here. So now let's look into the card text of why this card's so good. So it states right here, if an attack position monster you control battles an opponent's attack position monster with a higher attack. Okay, so the image makes a bit of sense. Junk Warrior is lower than Red Dragon. During damage calculation, so it's an activated effect, the player who controls the battling monster with the lower attack can pay 500 life points. And if they do, their monster gains 500 attack points during damage calculation only. Then repeat this effect until neither player chooses to pay life points. Okay. Neither player takes any battle damage from that battle. Also, send to the graveyard all cards on the field of the players whose monster was destroyed by that battle after damage calculation. So, players with an S. Okay. So that's basically it. However, that is huge. Now, personally, I love these cards with like major impact to the board effects. Like Moonmere Shield is one of my favorite cards of all time. Probably my favorite equip spell of all time. Maybe next to Premature Burial. And then there's also cards like Big Burn. You know, it can be good, maybe not, but who knows? I love these cards that have like really drastic effects. Funny enough, this card reminds me of Winged Dragon of Ra. You know how in the anime, the Winged Dragon of Ra, Merrick was like paying his own life points to boost Winged Dragon of Ra's attack points, basically fusing them together? This is basically that effect, except that both you and your opponent can use it, so it's like oppression. What I find very interesting about this card effect is that it keeps you in the resolution state, so you don't pay life points ahead of time. You pay life points during damage calculation. So that part was kind of new to me because usually you pay your cost. So you're paying cost and resolution this time, so that's a bit different. And so that's new, and I don't think that's ever happened in Yu-Gi-Oh before. And another silly thing that this card reminds me of is like when you're in school and like when you're a kid or something and you had this talk about having superpowers. Like, I have the power of like super strength and I have the power to, you know, telekinesis. And then you get that one asshole that's like, I have the power to do both your things and be better than you. And then you just have an argument, well, I have the power to negate your power. Well, my power is to like negate both your powers and shut it off so you can't even have any more powers. You get that kind of stupid situation with this card. Let's talk about the practicality of this card. This card obviously is very good, especially when you attack into your opponent who could have potentially dimensional barriers or strikes in the back row, and you have no way of clearing both without maybe triggering something. It's a great way to actually summon something that is weaker than your opponent and then swinging into them, as long as you have higher life points than your opponent. Now, a couple of things about this card is the person that loses the monster basically loses everything. So if you summon something and you swing and you don't have anything, well, you don't exactly have much to lose, for one thing. Another way to actually deal with your opponent is to summon something that cannot be destroyed by battle, and going ham at your opponent with that. And you'll be forcing your opponent to pay a ton of life, and maybe your board won't get wiped, and maybe you have a direct attacker to finish him off. I have no idea. There's lots of weird ways that you can use to kind of work around the bad part about it, which is if you lose your monster, well, basically you lose your entire board. And that's a pretty hefty cost. You probably will just lose the game at that point. But being able to break established boards with this card by surprise is pretty good. Now, most of you are thinking like, oh, why don't I use Forbidden Lance? Forbidden Lance could, like, you know, basically make it unaffected by this card. However, you have to preemptively use Forbidden Lance against your opponent that's using this card against you. For the reason being that Forbidden Lance can only be activated up to basically before damage calculation. Now, once you enter damage calculation, you can no longer activate Forbidden Lance. Only cards like Honest, the Moonmere Shield, these guys activate during damage calculation. This card also activates during damage calculation. In other words, you can't really chain a lance on top, which kind of sucks for you, doesn't it? So if whether or not your opponent's bluffing this card on you, it is potentially going to force you to waste the card, and that's actually kind of scary. There's tons of practical or impractical ways of using this card. Personally, when I get this card, I'm going to like throw it in my deck just for the trolling purpose of it. I don't know, maybe you will see actual top decks using this card, you know, just going ham against your opponent. Let me know what you guys think about this card. How would you personally use this card against your opponent? Do you think it's too trolly? Do you think it's too powerful? Unless your opponent has like some sort of battle reactive trap to kind of prevent them from even using this card altogether. What are your thoughts on this? Please let me know down in the comment section below. I would love to read your comments, and I'll probably reply and probably pin the most interesting comment to the top. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Woo! Hey guys, thanks for watching. And if you guys want to see more stuff from MST.TV, drop a like and hit the left button over here to subscribe. Or if you want to check out another video from us in the past, click here on the right. And as always, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV.